Hey EDC people and knife folks, I have another review for you, and this is actually of one of my old timers. I hope you checked out my Spyderco knife video and why I think that it's overall my favorite EDC company. And this is actually one that was not in the bunch at the time because I was in Japan, and now back in Austria I have my collection at hand again. This one is the Spyderco Centofante design, and it's one of my favorites. It is very different from the other knives. It's actually it's a pinned construction, so you cannot take it apart, which is probably one of the downsides. So just let's get to them. The second downside for me is that the spidey hole is a little bit small compared to the others, and there's no cutout here, so it's a little bit harder to get to it. However, if you just like with a little bit of authority put your thumb in here, there's really no problem about it. So that's it about the flaws and the downsides. So let's get to the fun part. I'm gonna put the specs in the description, but so far maybe you can just take my medium-sized hands as a reference. This is a VG10 steel from Seki in Japan. I actually went to that town once before in Gifu-kan. And yeah, it's quite impressive still for me. I love this steel. I like the properties about it. It's still nearly budget. Like, it's very affordable, but it's still a wonderful steel. It sharpens easily. It is very rust resistant in my experience. And I only have little dots sometimes on it if I really don't clean up the knife and have it sit somewhere for quite a long time. So a little nick in here. Oh no, it was just a little bit of dirt. Yeah, what do I really like about this knife so much? Actually, it's extremely light, and I'm gonna tell you exactly how light it is in the specs. But compared to the other Spydercos, it's very light. It's quite thin. The pocket clip is reversible, only for right side carry or right hand carry, tip up and tip down, and I always carry my knives tip up if that's possible. It's a lockback design, and it's completely flawless. There is no gap whatsoever on the spine here. The lockback, I don't know how it rides so smooth. I think it's bronze washers in there. I mean, it just really, it's so smooth. It just falls. Wonderful. Like, this is really the only Spyderco knife I actually can do that with. Yeah, the pocket clip was like painted somehow. It's coming off slightly and slowly. It's very different to other Spyderco pocket clips. This one is probably a little bit uglier. I like the other ones very much, but it does its job. It's very thin, so it used to be my restaurant knife when I was working as a waiter in a Japanese restaurant. I had this in my pocket, mainly for opening rice bags and stuff like that. Yeah, that's not a joke. That's really what I did with it. Yeah, I can't stop playing with this knife. The design is just very simple, flawless. The handle doesn't really have any kind of kind of a forced way to grab it. Sorry for my bad English, but that's the only way I can express it. It's very flexible, I guess. You can just hold it in all kind of different grips, like reverse pull grip like this is extremely comfortable. I just don't really experiment with this kind of grips because I'm not holding knives like that. I don't know. I don't see any reason for it. I mean, I use my carving knives that way for different kind of carving tasks. If you're interested in my greenwood videos, by the way, just have a look at my channel. So yeah, whatever grip you have it in, it's comfortable. And this kind of grip here that I also don't use, but it is wonderful. This jimping is so perfect, and that's just really what we get to experience from Spyderco all the time. The jimping is just perfect. It's not too aggressive. It is not too slippery. It just, I don't know, it just locks in without ripping your thumb actually. So I don't know how they do it, but when it comes to jimping, there's only Spyderco for me. The leaf shaped blade is also really nicely executed. It has a really nice continuous swoop. There's nearly no straight portion of that blade. It is very thin. I think it's something like 2 mil, and it's actually hollow ground, which is also, I think it's my only Spyderco knife except my Salt one, I think, and my Ladybug that are actually hollow ground. Like I said, it's a BG10. It's very thin. It's a wonderful slicer, and it has this beautiful swedge up here. Like the whole knife actually says custom knife for me. I don't own any custom folding knives, and this one is really not an expensive knife. I mean, it's not cheap, but it's also not an expensive knife. And this is, although my collection comes and goes, so to say, this is not gonna leave me because it's really sweet. Blade centering is perfect. I think it's kind of yeah, it's not milled out construction, it looks like, but it has a little bit of, it has a glue line or something here. Not, yeah, maybe not even a glue line, but it is 2 pieces. And the back spacer actually comes from the main piece. Also, this Spyderco inlay here is something I didn't even really pay attention before to, but now looking at it, so after years actually looking at it behind the camera, this is also a very sweet detail. So yeah guys, this is actually my review or homage to my Spyderco Centofante. What a smooth, sweet, light, crazy EDC blade. Thanks for tuning in today, and I hope you had a look at my channel. There's many different videos there, from traditional archery, greenwood carving, knife techniques, axe techniques, all the way to EDC watches, knives, just all kind of fun stuff. And if you had a good time watching, maybe you want to give me a thumb up and just leave some feedback if you didn't like something about the video. And other than that, please subscribe to the channel, and I'm gonna see you next time. Thank you guys.